Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and curing every disease and every sickness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them, because they are harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest." Then Jesus summoned his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits to cast them out and to cure every disease and every sickness. These are the names of the 12 apostles. First, Simon, known as Peter, and his brother Andrew, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the tax collector, James, son of Alphaeus and Thaddeus, Simon the Cynian, and Judas Iscariot, the one who betrayed him. These 12 Jesus sent out with the following instructions: "Go nowhere among the Gentiles, and enter no town of the Samaritans, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. As you go, proclaim the good news. The kingdom of heaven has come near. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out demons. You receive without payment. Give without payment." The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Please be seated. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I think it's summer, don't you? And that means it's time for those family road trips. As a child, each summer we would drive to the north of England, 250 miles or so to where my grandmother lived. So old roads and an old car, which meant it took most of the day. But as I recognised the change in the landscape as we got further north, out would come the question, are we nearly there? In today's Gospel reading, Jesus is sending the disciples out on a journey of their own. Jesus has been working hard on his mission, but it is overwhelming. There is so much to do, so much brokenness that needs healing. And Jesus is filled with compassion for all that he sees, looks for a solution. And that solution is to engage the help of the disciples. Now this must have been a shock for them. And so then they had been followers and spectators. But now they were called to be co-workers. And I know that if I had been one of the disciples, I would have felt very nervous and afraid of being out there in the mission field. And he gives his disciples a list of tasks: cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out demons. Easy enough, don't you think? But top of that list is to proclaim the good news. And the good news message they are called to spread is deceptively simple. The kingdom of heaven has come near. But where is this kingdom? Now, kingdom implies a place or political structure. But in the context of God's love for all creation, this means the fulfillment and completion of God's kingdom here on earth. This is what we call the eschaton, or end times. And we pray for this when we say, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." And in our Eucharistic prayer C, which we are currently using, we hear the words, "In the fullness of time, but all things in subjection under your Christ." This kingdom, though, is not a political structure. It is to live in the personal presence of Jesus. But in Matthew's Gospel, the kingdom of heaven is revealed as not only something that is going to happen in the future, but a kingdom that is already present today and at work in Jesus. At the end of Matthew's Gospel, which we heard on Trinity Sunday, Jesus told the disciples, "Remember, I am with you always to the end of the age." So if the kingdom is the personal presence of Jesus, then we are already living in the kingdom, because the living, risen Jesus is with us now. Present, not just for the disciples, but for us. Present when the Father's love is revealed in Jesus. Present when revealed in his teaching, healing, death, and resurrection. So, how do we live into this kingdom? If you look at the front of your service leaflet, you'll see the words, "Walk with Christ and share the journey." This is our St. Stephen's mission statement. We are on a journey, and our destination, the kingdom of heaven, is near. We are asking others to share the journey with us. But what does this mean? In our church ministry, we do lots of good things for people. Good examples are collecting food in the Little Red Wagon for the Western Food Pantry, and currently the linen drive for the Fresh Start Furniture Bank. These are all things we do for people, and they are good and valuable ministries. Yet, going on a shared journey implies we are walking alongside a companion. We are doing something with someone, not only doing something for someone. This is what Jesus did, and what the disciples were called to do, and what we are called to do as modern disciples. This is more challenging. It needs us to share the journey with someone. But look at the 12 disciples. You have a list of them in the reading. They were ordinary people just like us. Disciples, though they went out and walked the dusty hills of Galilee from village to village without any money or resources. Now, I don't think we are called to do that in Westbrook. We can think of other ways to be with people on the journey. Maybe it is something as simple as talking to someone new at coffee hour. Or how about telling a friend, a golf buddy, a lunch companion or a neighbour how you spend your Sunday morning? Or looking for a way to serve someone in your community. At the end of each Sunday service, we are sent out into the world as disciples. Let us all look for ways to share the journey with others, to reveal the presence of Jesus and proclaim the good news that the kingdom of heaven has come near.